Welcome to the KDFL podcast. It's me, Brett Steele, and we are back this week. Join us, as always, Mr. Captain is back, Mr. Phil Ruxy. How we doing, brother?
Going pretty good. Just happy to be where I am in the standings right now. I don't think it's going to last long, but we'll see how it goes.
Very nice. And, of course, our favorite, happiest co-host back again and going over the week 3 that was in the KDFL, Mr. Jonathan Detroit Haynes. How we doing, man?
Yo. Hope you're doing pretty safe out there in Florida there, Brett. This might be your last podcast with us. So
this could be all she wrote.
I know fans are probably hoping for that. But
why would you say that?
Anyways, let's go to week 3 as we start out with the Cross Vegas Gamblers visiting your Melbourne Mega Powers, who came in as a pretty big underdog, but with huge games from Devontae Smith, Mark Andrews, and Russell Gage, and also your number 1 quarterback for the Mega Powers, Cooper Rush. The Melbourne Mega Powers take down the Cross Vegas Gamblers by 5 points, 236 to 231.
All right, and next we had to Poca, where the 2-0 Pharmacists welcome in the 0-2 Kanawha County Kings. Not much change here. The Pharmacists get the win and stay undefeated, with Cousins putting in 20 points. Davis Gaither scoring 17.5, and Terry McLaurin with 16.2. Meanwhile, on the other side for the Kings, Chris Olive had an impressive day with 25.2. Geno Smith with 20 points. He still doesn't look great, but he's putting up a little bit of points. And then Diggs on defense with 13.5. And the Pharmacists moved to 3-0.
Next, we have Phil's Lumberjacks traveling down for their initial game in Nocatee versus the Zen Masters. Trevor Lawrence continues his impressive sophomore campaign with 28 points. Hollywood Brown leads all Zen Masters with 28 of his own, but it is that man again, Mr. Achilles injury-proof James Robinson, caps off 21 points for the Lumberjacks, and they get their most impressive win of the season, 247 to 218.
Next, we have the Roxalana Renegades, my number 2 power-ranked team in the KDFL, coming to the river here in Elkview to take on the River Rats. River Rats get a huge game from Lamar, but that's all on this team. Lamar, poor guy, is doing it all by himself. Renegades came in projected to score 254, but only scores 204, but it doesn't matter. They take down the River Rats 204 to 198.
All right, and then next we head to South Hills, where the Evil Empire welcomes in the upstart Hurricane Wampus Cats. Wampus Cats? I don't know.
Wampus Cats.
The Evil Empire was clearly not happy with how things went in the previous week, as Jalen Hurts scores 30, Derrick Henry with 25, and Barkley with 22.6. On the other side for the Wampus Cats, Wilson with 21.5, Bolton with 20, and Grant with 20. It wasn't enough, as the Evil Empire gets a fairly comfortable win here this week, 267 to 235.
All right, and for our week 3 game of the week, we have the 0-2 Midnight Riders looking to get their first win against the 2-0 Dogtown Dobermans. DeMarcus Lawrence puts in 21, leads all scores for the Midnight Riders. Aaron Rodgers gives them 17. Mekhi Walker, awesome upstart linebacker for the Falcons, pours in 15 of his own. But it's that QB duo of Allen and Burrow combining for 55 points that get it done for the Dobermans. A little bit of a stinker for the game of the week, but the Dobermans get it done and prove the 3-0 with a win, 201 to 196. And the Marmot Midnight Riders, little KDFL hangover, fall to 0-3. And that is it for your KDFL Week 3 results. And gentlemen, let's start off by acknowledging probably the most unorthodox intro I've done. It's quite terrible. It was all over the place. Not great. Hand up. But we got through it thanks to the awesome heroism of my co-host here. So thank you, fellas.
Why was it so bad? Why was it so bad?
Oh, up here, the gears were turning. Everything was, you should have seen Steve. I was jumping. Phil's a captain. He's a Mr. Detroit's back. He's always back. He's there again. I don't know what I'm doing. A little bit helter-skelter there, and definitely made it worse by pointing it out. But here we are. Week 3 in the books. It was my favorite week of the season thus far for multiple reasons. But let's go with you guys. What stood out to you in this week?
Well, I have a few things. I know I'm only supposed to point out one, but
no, take it away.
Number one is my Lions' awful coaching, terrible coaching. Some very questionable calls down at the end of that fourth quarter.
Ask you about that.
They were up 14-0 and 28-14, blew 2 14-point leads. Just terrible. Besides that, we got to show some props to Mr. Tua. My man is second in yards, second in passing rating, and he's first in QBR, which I don't know what the difference between QBR and passing rating is. It's stupid. But as a team that's really surprised me, I got a couple. I did pick the Eagles to be first in my predictions.
Yeah.
But they're first in offense and fifth on defense. And granted, they played the Vikings in Washington, but they did play the Lions, who are number 3 in the offense in the league right now. So they're looking really good. The NFC's just, I don't know. It's looking kind of trash to me, but I'm surprised by them. And last, how about them Jacksonville Jags? Wow, 2-1. They're 6th on offense, 7th in defense. Did anybody expect that besides their number one fan, Matt?
I mean, it's been quite. There's room, guys. There's still room on the Jaguars train. Still hasn't left the station yet, but it's been extremely impressive. That was a statement win. I mean, my gosh, against the Chargers on the road. Now, I have a quick question to go back to you on the Lions thing. I watched the game again. I rewatched 2 games last night, I think it was. Why is that move to kick the field goal so criticized? I don't understand.
Well, number one, their kicker is kind of just average kicker anyways. He already missed one earlier. To me, you're the Detroit Lions. You're known for going for it all the time. And they were like 4 for 5, I think, in the game.
Okay,
at that point.
yeah.
So they've been having success. Number one, your Vikings have no timeouts. There's like 1:12 left. You missed the field goal. They're getting the ball. I can't remember, maybe 44, 45
somewhere
yard line.
around there, 35 to 45. I'm sure.
If you go for it on 4th and 4 and you don't get it, you're gaining about 8 yards, maybe 7 yards. So they're going to get it on like the 37, 38. Number one, I probably would have went for it. Or the second choice I would have went for is try to pin them back. And that way it's longer field. Like I said, no timeouts. Then, did you see the play where they got the big gain? It might have been the first play after they took over. They got down to like the 40 or so. And the Lions called a timeout.
Yes, that was very confusing. I didn't watch like I would normally watch on a Sunday, right? Like I wasn't glued to it and whatnot. It just happened to be on. All I know is 24. Thielen was.
Oh gosh,
what the heck?
Was awful.
Thielen was having his way, dude.
I can't say the guy's last name, but he should never see the field again. He did have quite a few interceptions last year, but he's been bad this year.
Is he just your gamble quarterback? Like, is he just risk reward, I guess?
Yeah. Okay. He's like a Diggs light.
Yeah. Shout out to Diggs getting his interception props.
I do love how the Lions play, but I'm starting to question some of the game management. Like, you should have someone on your staff and he came out right out after the game and said, I shouldn't have done that. It was on me.
That's what made me ask.
Yeah, he owned up to it.
Yeah. That's what made me ask, because I didn't think that it was that big. I think that was a normal, pretty standard call. To me, the Andy Reid going for it on 4 or faking it on 4th and 10 was absolutely atrocious call.
Yeah, that was bad.
Like the worst call.
Yeah, but out of those three choices, the field goal would be the last one I would have went for. But that's just me.
Right. I mean, you still got to be happy with where the team is, though. I mean, I'm sure Campbell's going to get better with the decision making.
I hope so.
Once he gets some more games under his belt. But the way you explain
they do
that,
look promising.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, the field goal in that situation is really like the last of the choices. I mean, it doesn't do you any good, really, especially if you miss it. I mean, like you're in a really bad spot. So
I mean, it's to me the punt's the least because NFL kickers should make a 55-yard field goal almost a high percentage of the time. But
if you're not
a
good kicker, I mean, that's a pretty long kick.
Yeah, if he was struggling earlier in the game, like I said, I didn't get to watch it inside and out. Anything else, Detroit?
No, that's it for my takeaways.
All right. Phil, we got anything?
No, I think Detroit actually took it all. Not much stuff to talk about. It's all right. I was going to go Jaguars too. I mean, are the Jaguars really that good, or are the Chargers really that bad? I mean, do we really know?
I think it's a little bit of both, maybe.
I mean, I thought the Chargers were going to be a really good team, so I don't know.
It's the same
old. It's the same old Chargers, and there's a certain someone in this league that's probably just loving that. Well, no, he might not be loving it because Cat's behind me, as you can see.
It just looked like a horror film. It's just like a black mob. I thought it was a person. No,
you're gonna have to put that in the preview.
Yeah, huge huge injuries for the Chargers. I mean, I heard that offensive lineman Slater and Bosa, of course, going to miss some time. I think he went on the IR, so that's at least 4. It's going to probably be more than that. This is just a monumental injuries. That's a part of injuries that you can have to non-skill position players. So, I mean, it does feel like them and the entire AFC West is sputtering out of the gate. Couple of things I have. Speaking of AFC West, Mac Hollins. Are you ready for this? Mac Hollins this week. This is who he outscored with his 29.96 points. Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, Darren Waller, and DJ Moore combined. He outscored all of them combined this week. He absolutely did wonders filling in with Renfro out. The Raiders couldn't get it done, but I saw that stat, and I saw because what that is 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, a tight end, and a flex. It's essentially a fantasy team of stars that you're taking all in the first 1 to 3 rounds, and he outscored them all by himself. So shout out to Matt Collins for showing up. I believe it is the is it Masters that signed? No, I don't think it's this league I think that's the different league that he got him in. But shout out to them. Also,
I got
it was you, right? Okay, yeah, it was you. It was the Lumberjacks. I think after waivers too. So,
yep.
I know people don't anticipate it to repeat because of Renfro being out, but after waivers in this league, a flyer's a flyer.
Yeah, for sure.
I signed Andy Dalton this morning just because Jameis wasn't in practice and they're in London, and I have Cooper Rush. So it's like it's those type of moves that you have to do in this deeper league. Other thing, look who's balling out right now for a certain team up north in Cleveland. Hunt's looking great. Njoku's looking great. Chubb's the running back 1. Odell looked great in the Rams. And look who's suffering so far this year. McCaffrey not being what he was, and DJ Moore not being anywhere near what he was. And that bar wasn't that high to begin with. It was a lot of still potential. I think Baker, it's fair to say, Baker is the problem.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, so he missed DJ Moore a good bit of times.
I mean, McCaffrey's still 5th in the league in rushing. He's averaging 5 yards a carry.
But they're doing the bell cow thing.
Yeah,
they're doing 25 carries, I think he had last week.
Yeah, they're not like throwing him the ball. Remember, he got a lot of catches. He's just not. I don't know. Baker's just terrible. He's trash.
I didn't see this big a fall from Grace. Like I thought he might end up being how we always come back to him because he is the median. I thought he might end up being a Cousins style player, honestly. Not the style. Style was the wrong word to say, but quality. He won't lose you the game. He might not win you much, but he won't lose it.
Was that a cheap plug for a certain listener in this league?
I mean, shout out 75% mentions to Superfan Keith.
Yep.
Shout out.
That's my goal every week is to mention them.
My last thing, my last takeaway. I mentioned it that night in the Discord. Look, there's a certain thing. Let's get historical, okay? Alexander Hamilton, when he learns about Thomas Jefferson's stepping away from Secretary of State, he says, "Isn't it funny how political plans grow in the shade of retirement?" And that is what I think we saw with Jimmy G coming back, because you forget why you moved on from him when he's not playing for a while, and you see, other people, his replacement struggling and whatnot. You start to feel like, oh, this guy, you could do. So the Super Bowl odds increase. Like maybe they are a little bit better, but that was as bad of a comeback game as you could possibly have.
I can't believe I stayed up and watched that game.
It's because it's a train wreck. It's just
terrible.
I mean,
yeah, he was not good.
And let me say that, and that's early. He didn't get the playbook all off season, whatever. Like it's early. That's obviously going to improve some, but that was as bad as it got, and it did lower my fears of Trey Lance ever coming back just a little bit. But again, one game, little prep. So,
yeah.
But I will say this: I'm the only one that thinks that his step back was worse than Orlovsky's. I guess I am the only one that says that.
Yeah, because I don't know.
Orlovsky ran and kept. That's what everybody says makes it worse, is they kept running like he didn't realize.
Yeah.
But if Jimmy G doesn't do that, he just throws it. It's a pick six. Like people forget. Like I guess the actual act of stepping on the line was bad, but that was a pick six. That was as bad.
Yeah.
Think about what happened in that play. You lose your best offensive starter, maybe in
that's
Williams,
right. Yeah.
left tackle. You lost him in that play. You step on it, you get a safety, and you throw a pick six in an 11-10 loss against the most cringy athlete in sports right now, Russ. I think it was.
Oh.
Who somehow continues to be a thorn in the 49ers side, though.
Yeah, exactly. Still got that win.
Cringe or not, somehow.
Still got that though. All right, Mr. Detroit Haynes. Are you ready to grab some gears right now?
This is perfect. I got the black cat behind me.
Perfection.
It just everyone sees the cat. That's live right there. I like the blurred look. It just fits perfect. But anyways, before I start my rant, I got to give you credit. You didn't boast about your Atlanta Falcons this week.
I'm trying to keep it chill. Now you done. Now you brought it up. I like where the team's headed. I like it.
Okay. All right. Anyways.
Real quick, we treated that like the freaking Super Bowl, and I loved it, dude. I was going nuts. I was screaming. I screamed. My voice was sore on Monday. I screamed. I just kept screaming Drake over and over on that touchdown, which was touchdown.
I was probably about 10 cocktails in too.
Woo! We did not limit ourselves on the Sunday night celebration. I fell asleep in that very chair right there with the Falcon flag that I have that doesn't fit on any flagpole that we have. So it's just a flag I hold. It's in the background of the last video if you want to look. I fell asleep with it on me as a blanket. I woke up at like 12:30, didn't know what the heck was happening. So absolutely amazing. All right, go ahead.
Oh, at least someone had fun on Sunday. This week on Detroit, what grinds my gears? Do you know what grinds my gears? Is me. I hate myself. And what I'm talking about is fantasy football and the Elkview Riverettes. Anything I touch, it just turns to, you know what? I'm not even going to say it. Let me take you a little run back on my last 10 first-round picks. Some of these were multiple picks in the first round.
Yes.
Okay, there's a couple hits, but only 2. All right, Zach Moss. No. Darrell Henderson. Darius Gooch. Can't forget him. Rashard Penny. Lamar Jackson. I hit on him. But I had 3 picks that round. So
I wasn't going to say it.
Okay, so I had to hit on one. 2017, Corey Davis.
Hey,
he was going to be a stud.
Don't you dare. Love you,
2016, I hate even bring this name up because it's kind of a trigger word for Brett, and that's Zeke. I drafted him number 1 overall. Who you were saying.
Yeah. That's a hit, though.
That's the second meal hit. 2015, Amir Abdullah, Lions. 2014, I had 2, Sammy Watkins, who never lived up to the hype, and Eric Ebron. Okay, so that goes to show you how bad I am. Usually first round picks you hit. You hit on those obviously more than the later rounds. This week, I lost by a measly 5 points to Eric, who I had to play twice in 3 weeks, which makes no sense. I made a couple bad decisions here, in your lineup. I put Darrell Henderson over Singletary, got outscored 24-2. By the way, I even Googled before all day Sunday asking, hey, who should I start? Every site was like 90% start Darrell Henderson. Okay. Why you got your mouth open?
I'm not gonna steal your thunder here because I know something here.
Okay. Next, I started Hutchinson over Aaron Donald. Terrible. I was buying the hype after the 3-sack week. 0 points. Donald, 12 points. Then I decided to cut my kicker like a couple of days before. I cut Matt Prater, who I've had for a few years, because he hadn't been really doing anything with Arizona. Which, by the way, why do we have kickers in this league? Can we get rid of them?
Oh.
I'm on your. I'm with you now, Brett. Anyways, I pick up the Lions kicker, Seaver, 6 points. Prater this week, 14 points. Okay, and finally, the one of them all. If I wouldn't have traded Dallas Gooder to Reed, instead I got Irv Smith back. Irv Smith, 5 points. Goddard, 11. That's 6 points there. Anything I touch turns to shit.
If you would have,
why do I do this every year?
If you would have just started the two players that I've traded you in the last 2 years, which was Rashad Evans, who had 20 and a half.
Yeah,
but he hasn't done anything yet, right? This is just a one-off game.
Was that his first game? I can't remember.
It might have been. I know it was his first year in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then Devin Singletary, who I thought was awful that you gave a first for him, but it turns out not to be too terrible. He's just in the crowded situation, but when he's in, he looks good.
Evans has played all year, but it was been like 9 and 7 points.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's explained to me. Why do I do this? Why am I doing this every year? It's awful. So, Eric, you owe me one, buddy. No, not really.
Oh, man.
I
love it.
I hate this. And the black cat's still in the background. It just makes this perfect. It's just perfect. I hope you guys are going to make me have a stroke.
The black cat senses a near dead rat right in front of near dead river rat right by him.
Detroit poured some catnip behind you. That's what's going on here.
It's going to kill you.
You poured some catnip behind you. That's why he's back there.
No, that cat's obsessed with me. My wife and kid had to have that cat. I didn't want it.
What is it doing?
And then I get it, and it's obsessed with me. I know.
It just looked at him, like slowly.
Vader.
It's going to legit kill you, dude.
Vader.
Is his name Vader?
Yeah, I named it Vader.
Oh,
wow.
But anyway.
Amazing.
So you see that monster cereal up there?
Yes.
Oh, I love those.
Amazing.
Some blueberry. Anyways, but yeah, that's my rant for the week.
I love it. Now, I'm off to an 0-3 start. No big deal. You just have the commish coming to town this week, but we'll get that.
Oh, yeah. No big deal.
We'll get that squared away.
I don't have my first round pick for next year either. Mr. Matthew Smith has it. So
at least Dameon Pierce did something this week.
Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing. I'm glad that Pierce is doing good, and I think he is going to be a good running back. When I made that trade, I had 2 first-round picks. I had to decide between which one to give Matt, Nick's pick, or Mike's pick. And I decided to give him Mike's because I thought, his team was going to be a monster.
He's not. I mean, we're still extremely early here, but yeah.
So Mike, you can blame. Okay. Mike, you blame it on me, buddy. It's all because of me.
All right. Now, speaking of curses, this is a good little segue, right? Speaking of curses and black cats, and why do we do this to ourselves? A little something that me and Detroit share that Phil doesn't quite as much, or not at all, really, with his fandom, is our cursed franchises. We have a Lions fan here, we have a Falcons fan here, and of course Phil as a Packers fan. So I'm of the firm belief, and I think this is the way you have to be if you're in an imprisoned franchise, that you do not choose your favorite team. Your favorite team, either by being there like Detroit is, or just by something stupid or the way life goes, chooses you. I don't believe we had a choice in the matter. I think it's like manifest destiny for us to be the fans of the teams that we are. So, and multiple times of complaining, I'll say like, why couldn't I have been a fan of this? Why couldn't I have been a fan of that? So what we did this week was we each made a top 5 list of the top 5 teams that if we were given, carte blanche, you can wipe the slate clean. You have no biases. You have no strong feelings towards any team, and you know what you know now. What teams would you be a part of? Multiple factors can factor in: team history, colors, fan base, location, whatever. So we're just going to each give our top 5 lists. Not going to spend a lot of times. We're not doing like a draft style. We're just top 5 lists, blurt them out, and give a quick reason each one, and we're going to flip it, and we're going to do the bottom 3 that we would absolutely never choose. So, Detroit, I'll have you go first. Go 5 through 1.
Okay, we're going to do 5 through 1. And mine, I have reasons for a little bit of everything that's all over the board. My number 5 team is the Baltimore Ravens. And the reason why it is, I'm a huge fan of Lamar. It's one of the only successful draft picks I've had. And I love a team that just stuck it to the state of Ohio and said, I'm out of here. I'm getting out, and just moves. I hate everything Ohio. So just for that, except, never mind, we won't talk about that. But just for that reason, and I kind of like their color scheme too. So I'm going to go with the Ravens, number 5. Number 4 is the Denver Broncos. And that has a lot to do with, I was John Elway. I was like John Elway's number 1 fan. Loved him. I thought he was great. He did so much when he had like really no weapons until Terrell Davis got there. Then they finally won a championship. So I like them, and I love the old school orange. I wish they bring those back with the blue helmets.
Indeed.
Those were great. Number 3 is the Tennessee Titans.
Interesting.
And the reason why I picked them is Nashville is an awesome city. And if I'm going to go somewhere to watch football and hang out, I want to go to a city like that. So I think that'd be a lot of fun. Plus, they don't have like a huge history where they've won a lot. I know they've went to a Super Bowl and all that. But number 2 is the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, God.
Now, the reason why is for this, I've already told you guys I'm kind of a secret Dallas Cowboys fan anyways. And this is going to relate to all my 3 teams that I don't like. But my dad was a huge Cowboys fan, so I was a Cowboys fan growing up, like when I was little. So that's them. And plus, they had some success in the 90s, and all their fans will let you know about it.
Yeah.
And my number 1 is the reason why I picked this team is because I want the Detroit Lions. I strive for them to be them. They've never won a Super Bowl, but they are so close, and that's the Buffalo Bills. And I love their fan base. They're crazy. They're intense. And I hope the Lions get to that point at some point. So I picked them. Plus, they have
I like it.
buffalo wings. That's where it started.
I can't hate it. I like that list. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have a 5A and a 5B. I couldn't decide between a couple teams. I went with Carolina Panthers and Tennessee Titans. I've always, I know you're going to say something. Well, just wait. But anyways, I've always liked the Titans jerseys for some reason. I just like their color scheme.
I agree.
I just love seeing the Music City Miracle. That was a crazy play. And the Panthers is kind of like a location thing. Kind of with the Titans too, a little bit of location.
Oh,
my dad
yeah. I didn't.
My dad,
yeah.
Okay. I didn't know where you were going with that. My dad lives in Charlotte. We live in Raleigh now. So I feel like that would be kind of a logical choice. Number 4 is I don't even really want to say this, but the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, whoa!
I feel like it would be. I don't know. A lot of people are consistent with the city that they pick teams with from. And I'm a Braves fan. So, but I like their jerseys too. That's the one reason I like them.
Jekyll and Hyde me right there.
No, I'm not Jekyll and Hyde you. And then I know a lot of people hated Michael Vick, but I like to watch him play. I mean, he was really exciting. So that I like the Falcons a little bit at that time just to watch him. And then Morton Anderson. I don't know why he's always popping in my head. He's just a big time kicker. I mean, he's one of the best kickers of all time. So that's just another reason. Number 3, the Miami Dolphins, and that's not because they're good right now. I think that goes back to Ace Ventura, honestly. I just like that movie so much, and then the Dolphins, of course, are the main theme of that movie. So they're my number 3, and I like their colors too as well. And then that one season they had, I wasn't alive, obviously. They didn't win a game. That's kind of a cool story too. And then number 2, I'm going with the Chargers. Again, I think the reason, number 1 reason is the jerseys. The powder jerseys are pretty sweet, and then the regular jerseys I like too. And then I had an LT jersey back in the day. I didn't really buy a lot of jerseys for some reason, but LT was one of them that I had. So that's the reasons for that. And then number 1, I don't know why. I can't figure out why, but the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Nice.
Love it.
I like Brunell. I like Mark Brunell. I mean, that was the reason, I guess. I don't know. I'm just drawn to the Jaguars. I don't know why.
Nice. I like it.
I like that. Now, let me tell you this. Now, my 5, I have, if I left the choosing up to myself, I guarantee the team, if I you can't like the Falcons, I guarantee it would be a team like Tennessee. Because I don't want to do that, but I guarantee it would be another team that I really like the colors, but no one else cares about. And with a kind of a sad history or whatever, I know that's what would happen if it was left up to me. I just know that. So they're not on my list, but I know that because my dumb brain, that's where I would end up. Okay. Now, number 5.
You just call us dumb?
No.
Yeah,
no,
pretty much.
No, I'm talking about as my 1.
I mean, they're in our top 5 though. So,
well, the reason why I said the whole thing about this, I didn't think about you being close to Charlotte. That's why I was like, oh, duh. Okay. Number 5 for me, I have the Buffalo Bills, just for the party scene. The collars are awesome. The fan base is amazing. I couldn't have them higher because I can't have the team that lost 4 straight Super Bowls as my 1. This is the one that nobody else I knew no one else would have. Number 4, I have the Chicago Bears, and I love the city of Chicago. I love the grit and the built on defense and toughness, and I love the colors of the team, blue and orange. It's going to be a theme here. But the number 1 thing I love is that the built-in excuse of we're always just a quarterback away. You can just keep on always saying, we would be great if only. We took Rex Grossman to the Super Bowl. If only we had a quarterback. Number 3, I have the Denver Broncos because I think about my own life and how my life would be different. I love the blue and orange, of course. Love Elway. My team would have beat the Falcons in '98. Would have been awesome. I would have been the favorite team of Peyton winning Super Bowl 50 and riding off into the sunset. Would have been epic to be a part of that. Number 2. This is really high. Me and Phil did not do this on purpose. I have number 2 as the Green Bay Packers.
Even though you took the Bears and the Packers,
I've called the Packers the most overrated franchise in sports. So I don't know how they ended up as number 2. But I like the culture around football. I like the fan ownership, the history of Lambeau. Brett Favre, not a popular name right now, but I used to tell people I used to always say it was named after him and stuff. And the legend of that. I mean, think how different my life would be. Oh, we got this quarterback from Atlanta instead of Atlanta being the team that gave the quarterback away. That's already 30 seconds too long of Brett Favre talk in this podcast. And number 1. I don't know how this didn't happen organically. A stupid, dumb 5-year-old Brett. There is a team that literally bears your last name with a team rich in history of winning. and close to
Terrible.
you.
That's terrible.
And it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hey, I'm Brett Steele. I'm a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like the red. I like the yellow and black. I've always talked about the city being one color, a rich history of winning. I don't know how this got screwed up, but yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers would be my one of one if I could wipe the slate clean.
We'll get into that in the next section here.
Yes,
All right, guys.
yes, we will.
Detroit bottom three. Take it away.
All right, my bottom three goes back to my why I like the Dallas Cowboys. They were my top five. As a kid, I'm a little bit older than you guys. I can remember some late 70s Super Bowls, early 80s. So my number three team was the Washington Redskins. I mean, football team. I mean, Commanders, whatever you want to call them. Oh, I never liked them. I hated the stupid "Hail to the Redskins" when they play that. Their stadium's god awful. It just urine falls out from the sky in that stadium. Ownership is awful. They got a terrible owner. He doesn't sound like a very good human being, allegedly. I got to put that in there.
Allegedly.
Wasn't that where that railing fell too?
Almost killed Jalen Hurts. Yes, I was going to say.
Yeah.
He was escorted out by the railing this week, by the way.
Yeah, I did see that.
It's a team.
I did that.
Wow.
Number two, another team that I hated as my childhood and is the favorite team of one of actually the commissioner of this league, and that's the San Francisco 49ers. I hate their colors. I hate the city. I couldn't stand Joe Montana. I couldn't stand Steve Young. The catch. Oh, the catch. Let me explain to you guys. I had Dallas Cowboys everything. My room was all Dallas Cowboys stuff. When that catch happened, I remember I had this Dallas Cowboys trash can. I took all my stuff, I threw it in there, and I set it outside my door. I was like, I'm never rooting for this team again. And I never did, actually. That's when I started going with the Lions. But that's one reason why, or that's the reason why I don't like the Niners. And the number one team, the most annoying fan base to me, and their stupid little towel that they wave at the games, and they're dumb with their stupid helmets and only put the decal on one side because the owner was too cheap. He was too cheap to put them on both of them back in the day. I do love their colors, and I do love that the city does all their teams in the same color. That's pretty cool. But I can't stand the Steelers fan base. I hate it. I can't even tell you one player that's ever came out of Pittsburgh that I've liked. So that's my bottom three.
Yeah.
Palomalu.
Let's see.
No, I didn't like his hair.
Palomalu.
Yeah. Oh, that's jealousy right there.
Clearly.
that's jealousy.
Phil, can you put his hair on my head somehow?
Can we do it, please?
I mean, that might be tough to do. I might just have to get a hat with the hair inside of it. So I put together my three earlier, and I didn't really notice until after I was done that there's kind of a theme. I'm sure you guys will pick up on it once I go through them. But my number three is the New England Patriots. I know they're called the Patriots. I mean, of course, everybody knows that. But, I mean, they just freaking win too much. I mean, just get over it already. Just go away. I mean, Tom Brady, he's not there anymore, I know. But just go away.
I don't think they're going to win anytime soon.
They're not, which is good because, I mean, they've won enough. I mean, it's ridiculous. Tired of seeing them. Number two, the Dallas Cowboys. You're not America's team. First of all, number three on the list is the Patriots. They should be America's team if anybody's the America's team. You're the freaking Dallas Cowboys. They haven't won in like 30 years. I mean, they're another one of those teams where like, oh, we just need a quarterback. Now they have Dak for several years, and he gets hurt every year. They've had Zeke.
Hey now.
What does he do? I know I'm probably putting a couple of people off, but it's fine. And number one is the Pittsburgh Steelers. First of all, Brett, how are you going to be, okay, Detroit's probably going to agree on this. How are you going to be from West Virginia and pick a team from Pittsburgh?
Oh, dude, that drives me nuts.
It's ridiculous.
Like diehard West Virginia fans.
Yeah,
they'll like eat shit pit, and
like
then
they'll go
Sundays
to a Mountaineer
they're
game.
cheering on Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, they'll go to a Mountaineer game on Saturday and drive up to Pittsburgh on Sunday and watch the Steelers
in the same stadium that Pitt plays in.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So
Yeah,
It's not a bad point.
I don't understand that one. That's all I got.
It's not a bad point. The main thing was the history of winning and the last name. Like that should have been an easy slam dunk.
Yeah, no, that's
last
good.
name.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
But I get the Pittsburgh thing is a very, very fair argument to me. All right, mine. Poor super listener Keith. Number 3, I have the Minnesota Vikings. I hate color purple teams. I don't know why. I just don't like it. I've never liked it. It's probably my least favorite color on uniforms.
same here.
Minus gold though. I don't like you were talking about the Niners.
Yeah.
I don't like yellow and color gold is one thing, but actual gold like Notre Dame gold. I've never Pittsburgh, the older now older Pittsburgh jerseys. That gold, I can't stand it.
Don't you like the Viking clap?
That's okay. The horn is cool because if it annoys you when you're there as a visiting team, I think it's cool. But that's cool. But I mean, Fran Tarkenton's like your most well-known retired jersey. You didn't even retire Moss's jersey. What the heck are you doing?
Yeah,
Going 0-4 in Super Bowls. I mean, don't love that. Number 2 is a weird one for me because I don't hate this team, but I would not want to be a fan of them, and that is the Los Angeles Chargers. Because this is my main pet peeve. The jerseys are phenomenal. No amazing history there, but I could not stand never having a home game and never having how they are right now.
Agree.
That's like that's the deal breaker of deal breakers for me. The fact that every time I go, if I was there and went to home games, like when Raiders come to town or any team of note, the Steelers, the Niners, whatever, they get blown out of the water fan base wise.
Yeah.
That's a deal breaker for me if I can't have any type of home field advantage. Number 1, I can't believe I didn't make any of this. I don't understand what anybody sees in the Cleveland Browns at all. No logo. The ugliest uniform in sports.
If I had a top
that was
5,
too easy for some reason.
Yeah, if I had 5 choices, they would have been on there.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you're getting dominated in your own division all the time. Your best part of your history, it was black and white television, basically. Mistake by the Lake is an awesome slam. I know Brownie the Elf is in the middle, and I applaud that over no logo at all over the stupid helmet. I would have went with a dog, but yeah, named after someone. You're named after someone. who? I mean, yeah, no. Browns by far my number 1. All right, boys.
I got to go real quick on your number 3 though with the purple colors. I think I'm a bit biased. I do like the purple because I went to Riverside. Shout out Riverside High School, West Virginia.
Riverside Warriors.
Yeah.
Hey.
When I say Riverside, you say Warriors.
Herbert Hoover, Huskies.
Okay. We're not talking about that.
God bless.
Who was your number 2? I don't even remember. The Chargers, wasn't it?
Yeah, it went Vikings.
Yeah.
I had the Commanders, but
there's so many like teams in that area. It's just like I see what you're saying. Like it's hard. I mean, they don't have a good fan base anyways, but like the other teams are just so close, they can just like take over the stadium.
Certain cities are like that. Doesn't Miami? They don't really have a good fan base, do they?
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's the beach cities, really.
I think it's fair weather.
Yeah,
it's fair weather.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is, boys. I know we'll get some flack for some of those.
That was a good segment, though.
Yeah, not bad. So. All right, so let's see. Let me get where I'm at for this week. Are we ready for KDFL Week 4 predictions?
I believe we are.
All right, I got it pulled up here. This is where Phil realizes that he won or lost last week. It's famously said. Okay, let's. Yes, I could not make that up.
Where is my charger?
This is amazing.
What's happening?
His computer died.
Oh, that's awesome. I can see him, though.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. All right. Continue. We're good. All
right. First up, Detroit first, Phil second. I'll wrap it up. First up, we have the Kanawha County Kings looking to get their first win. Against the also looking to get their first win, 0-3, surprisingly, Marmette Midnight Riders. Take it away, Detroit.
Yeah, Midnight Riders come in. I mean, they have to be just devastated starting out 0-3. But luckily, they have the Kings coming to town where they are a 53-point projected favorite. You go down and look at the comparisons on these. I was shocked. Geno Smith is projected as having the advantage over Aaron Rodgers, who's taking on New England at home. That's a little surprising. But anyways, that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All the rest, I see Marmette just finally getting on the board. They're going to have a huge week. I see them winning pretty easily.
Yeah, my thorough research and my sources say that the Midnight Riders get an easy win here. So that's all I got.
Looking at this, this is kind of sad for the Kings because I like Geno's matchup with the Lions. I also like Hunt's matchup against Atlanta. But I mean, Jefferson and Adams both have tough matchups. With Jefferson will get Lattimore, Devontae will get Surtain. The Kings are down to one QB more than likely, and that one QB is Geno. So I have on here Midnight Riders win, but it's bad luck for the Kings. I think if he's playing even possibly the Mega Powers or the Zen Masters or somebody down their luck right now, I think he could get his first win. Yeah, I think he could get his first win this week. It just so happens that he's running against a pretty hungry dog in the Marmette Midnight Riders looking to get in the win column. So we're all three good Midnight Riders on that one. Next up, speaking of those River Rats, we have the South Hills Evil Empire going to Elkview, take on the River Rats.
Yeah, going to talk about my team here a little bit more that I forgot to do in Detroit's what grinds his gears, or my gears, whatever. As you look at my lineup, my wide receiver depth is very thin. I made 2 trades last year when I did my little sell-off to get some draft picks and everything. Got Van Jefferson, Rondell Moore. Neither one of them have even played this year. That goes to show you how bad, once again, that I am. Anyways, I do like Lamar and Buffalo. I know Buffalo is got a really good defense and all, but Lamar's still going to put up points. I think that's going to be a very high-scoring game. McCaffrey, who knows, going against Arizona. I just don't like anything on my team, especially with starting Davis Mills. He's been awful. Those Evil Empire is just stacked. I've talked about this before. They're projected to score 276. I think they'll probably have a 300-point week this week. I said it. Then again, Mahomes does have a tough matchup with Tampa, but I still think he does it. So I like the Evil Empire.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Detroit said everything I was going to say with my thorough research. So I'm going to go with South Hills Evil Empire this week as well. I think he's going to score some pretty good points here. So, and you're struggling right now. It'd be nice to see you get the first win, but I don't think it's going to come this week.
Okay, so I'm looking at this. I have Lamar dominance will continue this week. That's going to be the shootout of shootouts. You'll see that theme through my predictions as we go on. I do like seeing Derrick Henry kind of come into form a little bit more. So we'll see if he can keep that going against Indy. And really thin at the skill positions for the River Rats right now. I got some injuries here, some cues. I know McCaffrey didn't practice today. So this projections continue to be insane with 276. So yeah, Evil Empire gets the win. Next, we have, where are they? The Wampus. The 2-1 Hurricane Wampus cast traveling to Roxalana to take on the undefeated Renegades. Detroit, take it away.
Yes, this is when I first looked at this, I was surprised it's only a 1-point spread right now with the Renegades as the slight favorite. Looking at these matchups, though, the Wampus Cats, St. Brown's really banged up. I do expect him to play, but I don't think he's going to put up monster numbers. We know Herbert's still hurt, so I think that's going to hurt him. I like Tua going against Cincinnati. And I think Atlanta's kind of figured out what they need to do with Kyle Pitts, so I like that matchup. So I'm going to stick with my Renegades. When I say that, I mean the number 2 power team. Well, they pretty much are my team because they own me. They beat me twice this year. So I'm taking them.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I think this is actually a pretty exciting matchup to watch. You got two kind of upstart teams. The Wampus Cats have been, as I've said, like 3 years away for about 5 years now. I think he's maybe there this year or a year away. I'll give him that. Then the Renegades are looking really good. I mean, he's put together a good team over the last couple of years after kind of rebuilding there for a while. And you were mentioning St. Brown. I know you guys probably don't remember, but I think it was the last episode or second to last episode last season when I said he's going to finish this year as a top 3 fantasy wide receiver. I just had to get that out there. He was looking really good first 2 weeks, and then he got hurt, of course. But I think it's going to be okay. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire has surprised me. I didn't really think he was. I mean, he's kind of underachieved. I feel like hasn't met the expectations. But on the other side, Tua is looking really good. Cordarrelle's still going strong. Jonathan Taylor, I mean, you're going to get big points every week from him. That could be a ground game versus the Titans. I mean, it could just be a running game all day. Like you said about Kyle Pitts, he may be finally turning it around. I think he's going to be the number 1 tight end. I said it. I think I said that before. I'll say it again still. I think it's going to be close. I'm going to go Wampus Cats, though, I think they're going to get a win slightly over the Renegades.
Feels on a Wampus Cat streak. Looking at this, I have an interesting test for Kyler going at Carolina. It's just like a matchup I feel like we haven't seen before. I don't know why. I just can't remember Kyler on the road in Carolina playing them yet. I mean, it probably just hasn't come up in the schedule. Just a weird to me to see. I don't know why it stood out. Khalil Herbert is going to get his chance to shine, I think, and that's going to hurt Montgomery on the Renegade side. There's just a lot of little knick-knack injuries for the Renegades. I don't love a lot of the Wampus Cats matchups, but I do have them getting the win here. So I went Wampus Cats as well. Yeah, so that we finally differ on one at least. Next up, we have the Melbourne Mega Powers hosting the Nocatee Zen Masters. This is the Hurricane game down in Florida with Ian sticking it out. Take it away, Detroit.
Yeah, this is another close game. It's only like a 1.5 points spread, and you're the favorite as of right now. I'm hoping that you pull this one out so Matt comes next week to Elkview and we're both 0-4 because we all know I'm going to be losing. With that said, for some reason, nothing ever goes the way I want it, so I'm going to have to say this is the Masters is getting this game.
Yeah, what I'm seeing in this game is what is going to happen first. Are the Zen Masters going to lose their Zen because of this hurricane, or are the Mega Powers going to lose power? I think that's an interesting thing we're going to see coming up in the next couple of days, maybe. Actually, I think you're right in the middle of it right now, though, aren't you, Brett?
I'm in
not in the middle, but I mean,
I am in the middle of it as I will be. Yeah, this evening.
Right. Okay. So if you lose power, it's probably going to happen tonight.
Yeah.
So. But Matt's a little farther up the coast, I guess.
He's in Jacksonville. Yeah. He's about 2 hours up.
Okay. So he could lose power before he loses his shit. So we'll see. I don't know who to pick on this one, honestly, but I think I really like Drake London. I think he's looking pretty good. And Cooper Rush, I think he can keep it up. So I'm going to go Mega Powers here.
All right.
Something about the Zen Masters brings out the Phil Zingers. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I love it, dude. I love it. What do I have on here? Cooper Rush season continues. I know Zach teased about coming back this week. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't like the running back matchups for Nocatee. I don't like Breece Hall against Pittsburgh, and I don't like ETN against the Eagles in that rush. And the number one tipping point for me, not to be a homer, Mark Andrews is going to be in that Buffalo shootout. So a lot banking on him this week. I'm going Mega Powers to go to 2-2, 500, 4 games in. I'll take it, boys. All right. Next up, we have Bills Lumberjacks traveling to Cross Vegas to take on the Gamblers.
Yeah, Nick is a 17-point favorite in this game, but there's a couple matches in here I'm not really liking for him. Tom Brady against the Chiefs. I mean, who's Tom throwing the ball to? I mean, I guess Mike Evans comes back. I don't know the status of Julio or Godwin. I really think he misses Gronk. Dalvin Cook was banged up against the Lions this week. He's got a couple other guys here questionable, like James Conner, Michael Thomas. Trevor Lawrence has been looking good. You know what I hate, though, about your running backs, which is a lot of things in the NFL now, is the split carries.
Yeah.
Kills me, man. I hated how the Cleveland uses Nick Chubb. I really think he should get more carries, but whatever. I guess it's working for them. And Aaron Jones splitting carries. But that James Robinson, man, that's a heck of a pickup there. I'm actually going to take the upset this week. I'm going to say Wake Forest gets it.
Nice. Thank you, Detroit.
Oh, I used to hate that. I used to hate that when you guys did that. Nice callback.
Is Trevor Lawrence finally turning a corner? I mean, he's looked good so far. Who knows? Eagles is going to be a tough matchup, though, I think. I mean, because they're looking good overall, offense and defense. Somehow, I don't know how, but they are. Yeah, and Aaron Jones. I mean, Dylan's good, but Jones is clearly the better back, so he should get the bulk of the carries. It's kind of ridiculous if they come even close to touching the ball equally. Same thing with Chubb. I mean, Kareem Hunt is good, but Nick Chubb is definitely a top 3 running back in the league, I feel like. I mean, he should be getting 25 to 30 times a game. James Robinson, that's the one not as sure about. I mean, but I still think he's a really good running back. When he touches the ball, I mean, good things happen. The only thing I'm really worried about, honestly, is Matt Ryan. I mean, I feel like he could have a good game, but I feel like he could be just awful. I mean, that's what he's shown recently. On the other side, you mentioned the injuries. He does have quite a bit of guys questionable. So I think that could be an issue. Who knows? I don't know. I got to go with myself, though. I know I'm a big underdog, but I'm going to go Lumberjacks.
Fellas, let's break it down here. Trevor Lawrence train will continue.
Here we go.
Trevor Lawrence train will continue. I do think this is Peyton before he's Peyton. I don't know if the ceiling's quite that high, but we cannot forget. I mean, that was the expectation. You can't forget coming in. That was 100% the best prospect since Luck. Brady does get Evans back, so that's a little underappreciated right now. And yes, I know Dalvin Cook is hurt, but he's going to get to wear that device thing that apparently makes him unstoppable, as well as the Gamblers have the Madison handcuff, which is very valuable in Dynasty, especially that handcuff, because Madison can step in and it's almost like you don't miss a beat. For that reason, Phil's got a few split matchups, right? He's got Aaron Jones and then Romeo Doubs. So if these games go the wrong way, Trevor Lawrence and James Robinson, I don't know. I'm going Gamblers just because of the diversity and they're a 17-point favorite. And I'm doing terrible so far in this contest, so I need to take some favorites when you guys take underdogs. All right. Now, our game of the week, we've committed heresy here in our game of the week selection. We have given it to the Dobermans in back-to-back weeks. But this is a matchup of 3-0 versus 3-0. So we had to give them the spotlight. We have the Dobermans traveling to Poca to take on the Pharmacists. What do we have, Detroit?
Yeah, I'm looking at this. I'm just shocked that Poca has been still undefeated, especially with Russell Wilson. And I guess Kirk Cousins does put up some decent numbers. I had to get that Kirk Cousins dig again. But looking at his roster, I'm still a little shocked. Looking at Reeds, we all know about Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, Najee Harris, and all those guys. Man, this is only a 6-point spread to favor the Dobermans. I talked about Josh Allen playing against Baltimore. It's going to be a high-scoring game. I would have to stick with the Dobermans. I'm secretly so you could say he's a third person that's a 3-time champ in this league. So for that reason, let's go Reed. Let's go Dobermans.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go Dobermans here as well. I like his running backs, Najee Harris, Javonte Williams, and Miles Sanders more than Stevenson. I know he has Elliott and Kamara, but Elliott, or Zeke, as we call him.
Elliott.
He's just not – I don't know. He's just not good anymore, I feel like. I don't know. And then Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. Of course, Allen puts up big numbers. Burrow started off a little shaky first week or two, but I think he's turned it around. And then on the other side, Russell Wilson. I mean, it's Russell Wilson, but he hasn't put up big numbers yet so far this season. I don't think that's going to happen this week. Kirk Cousins, don't even want to talk about him. Whatever. I do love him. Hopefully we can keep those listeners after this, but he's just a terrible quarterback. Anyways, I'm going to go Dobermans over the Pharmacists here. I think Dobermans stay undefeated and Pharmacists get their first loss.
All right. To wrap it up here, Josh Allen in the shootout. I don't know if you heard me mention it or not, but the Pharmacists do have a great block to that in Diggs. So that could be a little bit of a counterpunch right there. Will Russ get going? I mean, when is this going to happen? Will it happen? He gets a nice little soft defense in the Raiders. But to me, there is just too many weapons in Dogtown. The QB combination is too great versus the combo of Russ and Cousins. So we're going to go with Burrow and Allen to get the win, improve to 4-0 for the Dobermans. And just to recap, going into this week, as I mentioned, I was doing terrible. Detroit is 14-4. Phil is 9-9, and I am dragging up the rear at 8-10. So, Detroit, that's our week 4 predictions. Why don't you go ahead and sign us off here with our locks of the week and records for those as well?
Okay, our locks and upsets. We're not doing the whole win and loss kind of thing. We're doing a point system. 1 point for your lock of the week and 2 points for upset. Me and Brett both got our locks last week, so we both now have 3 points, while Philip is back there with just 1 point. So my lock of the week, and I hate going – there wasn't a whole – or no, I'm going to talk about upsets. Anyways, lock, I took the Packers minus 9.5. I'm not trusting the Patriots coming to Lambeau. I know that's a lot of points, but I don't like the quarterback situation. Yes, they have a decent defense, but I think the Packers are going to roll them. And for my upset of the week, as I was saying, there wasn't a whole lot that we could choose from because you have to be more than 3 points. So I'm going to go tomorrow night. I'm going with the Dolphins over the Bengals, who I believe are -4.
Very weird, yeah.
So, and Brett, you still suck. And the cat says that too. So
meow meow. Phil.
Yeah, Twitter follows. You can follow me at Phil Ruxy. You can follow Detroit at Detroit8374. You can follow Brett at BrettSteele2 and the show at KDFL Podcast. My lock of the week is going to be Dolphins Bengals over 47. I just think it's going to be high scoring. And my upset is the Jacksonville Jaguars plus 6.5 at Philadelphia. I think they're going to get the win. I think they're going to win it out, right? Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Vader says you're nuts. Vader doesn't look that big.
I think he's going to attack you. I think that's all it is.
This is, to me, the weirdest week of games that do not make any sense. I don't understand how the Dolphins are 4-point dogs to the Bengals. I mean, I guess they got a lot going on. They had to travel early with the storm. There's a bunch of lines. The Falcons are only 1.5-point dogs to the Browns. There's just a bunch of chaos on these boards that I don't really understand. So for my lock of the week, I'm going to go with the Saints and Vikings under 43. I think this is a sneaky primetime game that Kirk might not even know is a primetime game yet. He's going to accidentally find himself in a primetime game in London. Michael Thomas is banged up. Jameis might have a broken back, and the Saints defense is good. So I like this to go under with him. I mean, Jameis in London, even if he plays, that's just fish out of water. What's happening? Don't like it. Don't like that for points. My upset of the week, I almost went Commanders over the Cowboys in Dallas, but I cannot, out of any self-respect, go with Carson Wentz to win a game against that defense on the road. So we're going to X that out. We're not going there. We're going to go with the Titans getting the upset over the Colts in Indy. Derrick Henry's getting going. The Colts have looked as shaky as any team. It was basically a miracle they won last week with just combination, the perfect storm of penalties and mistakes and dumb decisions. So I'm gonna go with the Titans to get the divisional road win and improve to a sneaky 2-2. So for Captain Phil Rexy, for Jonathan Detroit Haynes, that is it for the KDFL Fantasy Podcast. We will see you next week here with Week 4 results, Week 5 predictions, and yes, another very special segment. See you guys next week.